And yeah, let me re-articulate. Good morning, and this is about putting our focus, and that focus that can change our life forever. So
Yeah,
here we go and begin. So let me quickly add the screen.
I want to tell you about a conversation I had with Mr. Tyrell Schoaf that I have carried with me for the rest of my life. It was not a long conversation. It lasted perhaps 10 minutes, but those 10 minutes rearranged something inside me so completely that I have never looked at my time, my energy, or my ambition the same way since. I had gone to Mr. Schoaf excited. I had been reading, thinking, planning. I had a list, and it was a long list, of everything I intended to change about my life, my finances, my health, my relationships, my reading habits, my morning routine, my business skills, my communication, my savings, my investments, everything, all of it, starting immediately, starting now. I laid it all out for him with the enthusiasm of a man who had just discovered that change was possible and wanted to consume all of it at once. Mr. Schoaf listened patiently. He did not interrupt. He did not discourage. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Then he looked at me and asked one question. Jim, of everything on that list, what is the one thing that if you changed it would make the biggest difference to everything else? I had no answer. I had never asked myself that question. I had been so focused on the length of the list that I had never stopped to ask which item on it actually mattered most. Mr. Schoaf nodded slowly. That, he said, is your only job right now. Find that one thing. Focus on it completely. And don't let the length of your list steal the power of your priority. I drove home that evening in silence, and I thought about how much of my life I had spent busy, genuinely, exhaustingly busy, without ever being truly focused. How many mornings I had started with energy and ended with nothing finished. How many projects I had begun with enthusiasm and abandoned without completion. How many directions I had moved in simultaneously and arrived nowhere as a result. I had been spreading myself so thin across so many intentions that none of them ever received enough of me to actually grow, and I had called this ambition. I had called this drive. I had given my scattered energy a flattering name and wondered why the results never matched the effort. That evening I made a decision. I was going to find my one thing, and I was going to give it everything I had. That decision, quiet, unglamorous, made alone in a car, on an ordinary evening, changed the entire trajectory of my life. And today I want to talk to you about why focus is not just a productivity strategy. It is a life philosophy. It is the difference between a life that looks busy and a life that actually builds something. It is the difference between motion and progress, between activity and achievement, between trying everything and mastering one thing. Now let me ask you honestly, how many things are you currently trying to change at once? How many goals are sitting on your list right now? Each one important, each one legitimate, each one deserving of your attention, competing with every other one for the limited hours in your time. And how many of them are actually moving forward? The middle class is not failing because of a lack of ambition. I have met some of the most ambitious people of my life in the middle class, full of dreams, full of plans, full of energy, but that energy, unfiltered, undirected, scattered across too many targets, produces the same result as sunlight scattered across a field. Warmth, perhaps, but no fire. Focus that same energy through a single lens onto a single point, and you get something entirely indifferent. You get ignition. Stay with me. Because what I want to share with you today is not about doing less. It is about doing the right thing, completely, deeply, without reservation, and watching what that level of concentrated effort produces in a life. Let me tell you what I learned about distraction in the years after that conversation with Mr. Stork. The first thing I learned is that distraction is not always loud. We imagine distraction as something obvious, a phone notification, a television, an interruption we can identify and remove. But the most dangerous distraction in my life was never that simple. It was the other good ideas, the other legitimate opportunities, the other reasonable directions I could have moved in at any given moment. When I was building my career as a speaker and philosopher, there were constant invitations to branch out, to diversify, to add new ventures and new directions and new projects to my work. Each one was reasonable. Each one had merit. Each one would have taken my attention away from the one thing I was building with everything I let. And I learned, slowly, through observation more than wisdom, that the enemy of great is rarely bad. The enemy of great is usually good, because bad options are easy to refuse. Good options feel irresponsible to refuse. They look like opportunity. They feel like growth. They arrive wearing the language of possibility. But when you accept a good option at the cost of your primary focus, you are not expanding your potential. You are diluting it. Jim Rohn taught, either you run the day or the day runs you. And I would add to that, either you direct your focus or everything around you will compete to direct it for you. The world is not designed to protect your concentration. It is designed, increasingly, aggressively, brilliantly, to fragment it. Every notification, every headline, every new platform, every fresh demand on your attention, all of it pulling, constantly, in different directions. And the person who cannot say no to the pull, who responds to every invitation, every distraction, every good idea that is not their best idea, that person ends the year exactly where they began it. Busy, tired, wondering why the effort never seems to accumulate into anything permanent. Let me tell you about the second thing I learned. Depth produces what breadth never can. When I finally identified my one thing, my philosophy, my speaking, the ideas I wanted to spend my life developing and sharing, I made a commitment that felt almost unreasonable at the time. I would go deep, not wide, not broad, not across many topics and many skills and many directions simultaneously. Deep, into one discipline, one craft, one area of mastery, and I would stay there long enough to discover what was on the other side of ordinary competence. Because here is what most people never find out. On the other side of the point where most people quit, when the initial excitement fades and the other work becomes genuinely difficult and the progress becomes genuinely slow, there is a level of capability that almost nobody reaches. Not because it requires extraordinary talent, because it requires extraordinary patience. Most people leave before they get there. They move on to the next thing just before the current thing would have rewarded them. Think about digging a well. You choose your spot. You begin digging. 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. The work is hard. The ground is dry. No water yet. So you move. Choose a different spot. Begin again. 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. Still no water. Move again. And you spend your entire life digging dozens of shallow holes across an entire field, never finding water, when a single deep hole in the right place would have given you everything you all needed. Depth is not glamorous. It does not look productive when you are in the middle of it. It looks like stubbornness, like inflexibility, like refusing to adapt. But what it actually is, what it produces over time, is mastery. And mastery is the only thing in this world that cannot be easily replaced or competed away. When I think about the people I have met who built remarkable lives, not famous people, necessarily, but genuinely free people, they almost universally had one thing in common. They had gone deeper into something than most people were willing to go. And that depth had become their foundation for everything else. Now let me tell you about the third lesson. And this one took me the longest to understand. Focus is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice of returning. Because here is the honest truth about concentration that nobody tells you in the beginning. Even after you identify your one thing, even after you make the commitment to go deep, the pull of distraction does not stop. It intensifies. The moment you commit to something important, the world seems to generate more competing demands than it ever did before. More opportunities appear. More emergencies arise. More people need more of your time. More interesting ideas present themselves. And every single day, you face the same quiet choice. Return to your one thing, or be pulled away from it. I failed at this constantly in the early years. I would commit to my focus. Work with depth for a week. Then an opportunity would arrive, and I would follow it. Then another direction would beckon, and I would lean toward it. Then I would look up 3 weeks later and realize I had not done the deep work I had committed to in over a month, and I would have to return, again, without self-punishment, without dramatic recommitment ceremonies, just quietly, firmly return. Mr. Shoaff used to say that the secret of success was not in the grand gestures, it was in the daily return. The person who returns to their priority 10,000 times, after 10,000 distractions, with 10,000 interruptions, 10,000 better-seeming alternatives, that person builds something that the scattered person never can. Think about a river. A river is not powerful because of the volume of its water. It is powerful because of the focus of its flow. Contain that same water in a narrow channel and it carves through stone. Spread it across a flat plain and it becomes a swamp. Same water, same energy, completely different result. Everything depends on how concentrated the flow is. Your energy works the same way. I want to speak now about something more personal, because I think there are people listening to this who know exactly what their one thing is. They have known for years. They have felt it pulling at them quietly, in the early morning before the day begins, in the late evening when the house is finally still. That thing they keep returning to in their imagination, that skill they keep meaning to develop, that direction they keep almost moving in before something else demands their attention, and they have not pursued it. Not because they lack ambition, not because they lack talent, but because focusing on one thing feels like a risk that scattered effort does not. When you are doing many things at once, failure is diffuse. Nothing truly fails because nothing truly commits. You can always say you were still figuring it out, still exploring, still deciding, but when you focus completely on one thing, when you go all in on a single direction, then failure has a clear address. And that vulnerability is frightening. I understand that. I lived it. But I want to tell you what I learned on the other side of that fear. The scattered life is not actually safer. It simply delays the reckoning. Because 10 years of doing many things moderately well produces far less than 5 years of doing one thing with complete commitment. The risk of focus is visible. The cost of distraction is invisible until it is too late to recover. And the middle class, hardworking, decent, genuinely capable, loses enormous potential every year to that invisible cost. Not in dramatic failure, in quiet dilution. So let me leave you with what I left that conversation with Mr. Neeraj carrying in my heart. 3 questions, not complicated questions, not philosophical puzzles, practical questions that I want you to sit with tonight, honestly, without rushing to comfortable answers. The first question is this. Of everything competing for your attention right now, your goals, your projects, your ambitions, your responsibilities, what is the one thing that, if you gave it your complete focus, would change everything else? Not what should matter most. What actually does. Find that answer. Write it down. Look at it until it stops being abstract and starts feeling real. The second question. What are you currently doing? Regularly, habitually, daily, that is stealing time and energy from that one thing. Not the obvious distractions, the hidden ones, the good ideas masquerading as priorities, the busyness that feels productive but produces nothing permanent. Name them, because you cannot subtract what you have not identified. And the third question, what would your life look like in 5 years if you gave your one thing the focus it deserves? Every day, without apology, without the constant negotiation between it and everything else competing for your hours. Sit with that image, hold it clearly, because that image, that specific, detailed picture of what focused effort produces over 5 disciplined years is not a fantasy. It is a forecast. It is the mathematically inevitable result of concentrated effort applied consistently over time. The only variable is whether you will provide the focus. Tonight, I want you to make one commitment. Not to change everything, just to find your one thing. And tomorrow morning, before the notifications, before the demands, before the world begins, pulling in its familiar directions, give that one thing the first and best hour of your day. Not the leftover hour, not the hour after everything else is handled. The first hour, because what you give your first and best energy to is what grows. And what grows is what becomes your life. Whoever renders service to many puts himself in line for greatness, great wealth, great return, great satisfaction, great reputation, and great joy. Jim Rohn, but none of that, none of the greatness, none of the return, none of the satisfaction comes from spreading yourself across everything. It comes from going deep into your one thing, deep enough to matter, deep enough to master, deep enough that the world cannot ignore what you have built. Find your one thing, focus on it completely, and watch what a concentrated life, lived with depth and intention, is truly capable of producing. The fire is already inside you. All it needs is the lens.
So this is the time for all of us to actually think deep.
Let me just quickly give you a list of 4 emotions that can...
What is taking away our attention? This is a moment to actually go deep. This is a moment to actually do some real introspection. So are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Because scattered attention will never produce results. It is the focused efforts going deeper into whatever that is most important to us will produce results. So go ahead, start answering the 3 questions that we just worked on. And as you answer, I'll play some music. Open up your notebooks and start answering those 3 questions. I'll also put them on the chat. Can you hear the music, Tushar?
Yeah.
Perfect. Go ahead.
I want to tell you about a
Sir, which 3 questions we have to answer?
The 3 questions that we just discussed.
Okay.
What's that of everything that you are doing? What is that one thing that if you start doing will change everything else in your life? Question number 2. What is that one thing or couple of things that you are doing instead of doing that one thing? And question number 3. If you start focusing on that one thing, which is the most important one, how would your life change in the next 5 years? Serious questions require serious amount of thinking. Don't bluff around. This is the moment for you to actually go deep down. Is that clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Perfect. I am putting it on the chat as well.
Already initiated one step which will prove that my focus has already started. In the sense, whatever we discussed with Jim today morning, I understood and so that pushed me to take my first step.
Good. Write that down in the diary and start answering them. Start completing. There's a wealth of wisdom which already is there with you. All that it requires is focus and mastery. What would your life look like in 5 years if you gave the power of mastering that one thing? Write that down. Complete it. Okay, and stop. How are you feeling right now? Tell me, how are you feeling right now? Just unmute and share, because
Yeah.
this is the moment of realization. Not understanding, not knowledge. This is the moment of realization setting in. So, yes, Rajiv bhai.
Yeah, all the three questions, realization of what is my first priority, what should be my focus, what are the things that I'm doing to achieve my focus area, and what how I will feel after 5 years if I've achieved that thing, one
To
thing.
answer, what have you
Yeah,
written? Just quickly share. What's there
yeah.
in front of you?
First and foremost, there was a confusion, like what is the one thing that I want to focus. So item number one, item number two. So I came to a conclusion that it is my item number one, which is health. Because if health is achieved, then wealth and other things can follow. Wealth, family, because I have to focus on my health, and in the next after 5 years, if my health is well on top, as I always say it, then I think uh, everything else can follow. Wealth can follow, family
Perfect.
happiness can. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Good. Very good.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and also,
Yes. Yeah.
Jim said very good thing that doing one thing for 5 years is better than doing many things for many years.
Mm.
So you may keep doing that. Like in the past, also we have done that, and we have found that uh, it's a longer route to do many things for many years. So I think I just repeated what I told you. So
Fantastic.
focus, yeah, focus in everything. Focus not only in this thing. If you, for example, I am very uh, keenly doing share market. In that also, it needs a lot of focus. There
Focus.
are thousands of scripts, but if you can focus on one, two, three scripts, I think life will be much better.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Rajiv bhai. Yes, Tushar ji.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good
So,
morning.
what is the one thing that you feel that can change your life? So, I have written regulating the business operations and finance cycle that can really change my business lifestyle. The second thing, the second question, like what what are the other things you are doing apart from it? So I've written like I'm doing all the things as like a all in one operation, so I need to be delegating the tasks and everything. Okay, so uh, and if you start fixing that one thing, how your life will change or how your business will change. So my business can expand more progressively. We can increase the team size. We can have a good office, and so work with lot of premium clients, so that way my business life will change. Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So this is this is the reality of life now. Now that you have it in front of you, just make sure that you are doing what is required to be done with complete focus. Because any amount of distraction will take away the juice from that focus, right? And yesterday we, spoke about that massive potential and then massive actions leading to massive results and leading to massive commitment and conviction, right? So massive actions comes from focus, laser sharp focus, right? So my invitation today, anything that is not in alignment with your focus, just say thank you. Because nothing can equate your focus. So just be doing what you are supposed to be doing with complete attention, complete focus, and it is messy. It is going to demand, so many things are going to compete for your attention. Yeah. So all the
Sir,
best.
don't sir, don't hang
Yes.
up 1 minute before we
Sure.
sign off. I want to mention one thing which begs my attention, and I request you both gentlemen to listen to me.
Sure.
My favorite star Devanand died a few years back, but yesterday I was shocked to come to know that his son Sunil Dan Anand also died due to a heart
Oh,
attack in London, and he was 70 years old. So for me, 70 years is young because I'm 68. So, but I was surprised. I read it twice. Am I reading the correct thing? Sunil Anand, I never met him, but since
I met up with him. I met up with him when I was there at Devanand's house. So he was partying with his friends, and like he was completely unattached to his father's business. So he was partying in one corner, and father was discussing business with me. So I was like, I met up with him, but I never knew he was 70 years old, right?
yeah, he was very young and he never achieved much in life that we should beg our attention. But he was considered to be a very nice gentleman. That's what I heard from
Mm,
someone.
mm,
And he was living in London. He died in London, like his father died in London. Yeah.
mm.
So I thought I will just talk to you about it. And also,
Mm.
if Tushar is interested,
So,
even
so this
can
is this
also.
is very, 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 very important right now
Sad.
for
Yeah,
us to
very sad.
realize that we are not here for eternity. Our bodies
Yeah.
are going to actually perish, 50 years, 100 years, whatever time that we are going to spend on the planet. After that, what? So our soul will continue. Our soul is eternal. Our bodies are not. Make sure that our time on the planet, whatever time is there, is productive, not only for this lifetime, but for the next few lifetimes also. Right?
So I don't think about death at all. And though I don't want to die, but I don't think about. I've decided not to think about it.
Nobody thinks
And
about dying.
no, sometimes it worries. It used to worry me. Okay, what will happen?
So the
What will I
idea is
do?
very simple. Whatever you are
Hmm.
doing, do it in the most productive manner, which
Yeah,
helps you in this lifetime and
yeah,
also carries forward in the future.
yes,
So, because if
correct.
you are if you are doing the right things and if you are helping becoming this world a better place,
Yeah,
then it is logical that whatever life form that you take after this life, you
yeah,
will be born in a better world, right? Which you help create.
correct.
So
Yeah,
create a better world. That's the whole
yeah,
idea, right?
yes, sir.
So all
Yes,
the best. Have a wonderful day. We just touched
yeah,
upon our spiritual aspect also. So God bless. Take
right.
care of yourself
Yeah,
because your focus matters. Bye.
yes, sir.
Take care. Bye bye.